In less than a minute, our AI went through the spreadsheet, gave me a call, persuaded me to save money with solar, and then booked me in on their calendar with all the information that the solar company needs. Pretty insane. Most solar companies spend thousands generating leads and then let 90% of them rot in the spreadsheet. Today, we're going to fix that. What's up, everyone? I'm Adhiraj, and in this video, I'm walking you through how to build an AI-powered outbound calling system for solar companies. This thing dials through old leads every single morning, has real conversations about energy bills and roof eligibility, checks your installer's actual calendar, and then locks in site assessment appointments with automatic text confirmations. By the time we're done, you'll have a working pipeline that converts dead solar leads into booked site visits without a single human making a phone call. If you just love AI automations, hit subscribe and let's get into it. First off, go ahead and open up Vapi and then hit Create Assistant. You can start off with the blank template and then just hit Create Assistant down here, okay? Now, once you've done that, you want to name it something like Solar Lead Reactivation. For the model, you want to choose GPT 4.1 Mini. This is absolutely the move. It's fast. It handles objection-heavy conversations incredibly well. As you can see up here, it's roughly 11 cents per minute, so it won't eat your margins while you're running hundreds of calls. Now, also just a note about the solar industry, these leads are notoriously skeptical. So the voice and personality setup matter a lot here. Now, since we're doing outbound, flip on Assistant Speaks First. This just ensures that your agent opens up the moment someone answers. All right, so now you want to drop your solar system prompt into the prompt box and just grab that directly from my school. I'm going to have a post linked to this video where everything is going to be ready to copy and paste. Now, behind the scenes, what exactly is happening? You're just seeing a bunch of text, a lot of hashtags, right? So this prompt is doing a lot of the heavy lifting. It's going to tell your agent how to open with the homeowner's actual name pulled from the lead database, how to qualify them based on basics, like do they own their home, how much is their electric bill, and also it's trained on how to handle that I'm not interested in solar objections, and also super critically, how to only offer appointment times that actually exist in your calendar, right? So the whole thing is built around getting to a confirmed site assessment, not just a wishy-washy maybe. Now you want to tune this prompt to your actual business, and that's from this configuration right up top, right? So you see these 4 variables that you need to swap out: business name, primary service, time zone, and meeting duration minutes. Change these 4 lines and the entire script adapts, and you could hand this same template to a solar company in Phoenix or one in New Jersey, and it's gonna work right out the box, okay? Now, inside this prompt, there is a 9-step conversation flow that your agent follows on every single call. Before he or she even says a word, they're going to fire a client lookup tool and pulls a homeowner's name and address from the sheet. Then they're going to open with a warm greeting and ask about some qualifying questions like electricity costs. And obviously you can adapt these all to your business, your use case. Then they're going to close with something that sets expectations about, going to ask what day does work for a quick visit. It's going to check the real calendar for that day's availability, read back a few time slots, then confirm the actual appointment details out loud so there's no misconceptions, books it right on the spot, books them in, and then closes with something that sets the expectations about what the site visit actually involves. Now, the reason this step-by-step structure matters so much in solar specifically is because homeowners are trained to hang up on vague AI calls. A structured, personalized conversation that shows real knowledge about their address and their situation is going to get dramatically better pickup to booking rates. All right, so now we need to actually set up the functions or the 3 tools, right? So go over to tools over here. The first tool we're going to make is lookup client by phone, and you can just copy my setup as I have it right here. It's going to be available in my school community. You can actually just copy and paste it. Flip this to JSON. This is the code, right? So when a call connects, this fires immediately as is said in our system prompt. And it's going to return the homeowner's name, phone number, and property address from the Google Sheet. Now we're in the tools section, and the first tool we're going to make is lookup client by phone. You can copy this exactly how I have it. Scroll down here to JSON, toggle this to on, and just copy and paste this from the community, right? So when a call connects, this fires immediately and returns the homeowner's name, phone number, and property address from your Google Sheets, right? And this is, just for a preview, this is what our Google Sheet looks like, which is simulating all the leads to call, okay? Our agent needs this before the first word so they can open up personally. Now, the next one is check availability. And if we go down here, JSON, just copy this from my school community. This is because when the homeowner says like something like Tuesday works for me, this hits your Google Calendar and returns every single 45-minute window that day. It's going to also account for existing appointments with buffer time built in, so you're never actually double booking your installer, right? Now, and all this logic is actually handled within our n8n workflow, which we will go over very shortly. Next is the book appointment. And over here, scroll down to JSON. Also grab this from the community. Once the homeowner actually picks a slot, this creates the calendar event, loads it with all the property details your installer needs, and then fires that SMS confirmation to the homeowner's phone. Now the server URL, now n8n is actually our backend, and that's what figures out which path to take based on the function name. So behind the scenes, what's happening, right? The homeowner answers immediately, lookup client by phone will fire, that first tool I just went over. Agent has their name before saying hello, which is incredibly important for these cold calls. Immediate personalization right off the bat. The homeowner says they're available, say Friday morning, then check availability tool is going to fire, come back with a few open slots on Friday. Say our homeowner picks 10 a.m., then our book appointment tool, the one we're on right now, is going to fire, and the calendar event gets created with the property address already loaded in the description. So your installer knows exactly where to go. All of that happens in real time in just a few minutes while the conversation is still flowing. Okay, so now let's go back to assistance, and you're going to want to choose a good voice. So like a confident, professional sounding voice. And you can do that. You can just copy the one I have. I actually use an 11 Labs voice. Their voices are very good. I use Claire over here. And then model is 11 Turbo V2.5. Okay. Now for solar specifically, I'd lean slightly towards a warmer conversational voice. You're actually asking someone to potentially put panels on their home. So you want energy that feels like knowledgeable neighbor and not so much like a corporate call center. All right, now scroll down. And then under tools, you want to actually enable those 3 tools we just made. And this just connects those tools to your actual agent. Now over here in predefined functions, enable the end call function. And this is just so your agent can exit gracefully when someone's firmly not interested. And respecting the homeowner's time actually matters because the last thing you want is a solar AI that people complain about. Here you want to set your forwarding number for a super smooth handoff to you or the owner. In case there's something that the agent can't handle, it'll automatically and gracefully forward the call. All right, let's keep going. You want to make sure voicemail is on, voicemail detection is on, and solar lead lists are old. A lot of those numbers might actually hit voicemail. You don't want your agent burning 45 seconds or leaving a message on a dead number, right? Okay, perfect. We keep talking about phone numbers now, so let's actually go ahead and create you a phone number. Go to phone numbers on the side and click create phone number. You can literally do any area code that Vapi will allow you to, and you have a lot of options here. All right, it'll give you some suggestions. Yeah, let's use this one. One thing is if you do have a client, you want to preferably get a phone number that does match their area code to the service area. Local number showing up on a caller ID is a super real conversion factor for homeowners who are already cautious about spam calls from energy companies. Now you want to give this a name like solar reactivation. And the cool part is about this demo, unlike all the other setups, you don't actually need to attach a system. If you watch my other demos, we usually fill this all out, but cool part about outbound agent setups, unlike inbound agent setups, is we're not directly attaching the assistant to the phone number here. Our end workflow is going to handle the outbound calls programmatically through the API. It's going to pass the assistant ID and the phone number ID and the homeowner's number all dynamically with each API request. The phone number in Vapi is just the caller ID. So that's about it for our Vapi setup. Let's go ahead over to n8n. Once you're here, we've got 2 separate workflows to set up. Both are available as importable JSON files in my school. Just grab them, paste them into n8n, and they load up for you fully built. So this workflow runs on its own every morning at 11 a.m., as I've said over here, and you can pretty much change this to whatever time you or your business wants. The schedule trigger is what's going to control when it fires. So then our get uncall leads node is going to pull every row from that Google Sheet where the call sent column reads no. At the end, we're actually going to make that true. I mean, if we want to be semantic, they're going to set it to yes, not true, but get the idea, right? Anyways, these are homeowners who have never been contacted by the system. Now, after this, we have a process one by one. This is just a split in batches node that handles leads individually, then launching all of them simultaneously, right? Solar lead lists can be large, and bulk firing calls simultaneously is going to cause API issues and will sound really chaotic in the receiving end. Then we have a make Vapi call node. This is going to be very important for you. Over here, and I'm probably going to black out all these values because this is sensitive data and you should be very careful about sharing these values with other people as well. But anyways, you want to grab the phone number ID and assistant ID. How do we do that? You go back to Vapi and this is your phone number ID. Just copy this, you paste it in there, you go to assistants, solar lead reactivation, and this is your assistant ID. Okay. So you just paste those in here in the JSON. Now, just an overview of what this node is doing. It's sending a phone number ID, your assistant ID, and the homeowner's phone number from the sheet to Vapi's API. Then we have the mark as called node. All this is doing is updating that row in your Google Sheet, flipping that call sent from no to yes. The system will never touch that lead again for outbound calls, right? Then we have a wait for 30 seconds, which is just going to create a 30-second pause before the loop picks up the next lead. This pacing is what keeps things super clean and prevents rate limit issues with Vapi. So what's happening is that the loop continues on and on and on until every uncall lead is processed. A list of 200 homeowners gets through in about 90 minutes, and this whole thing runs and completes before lunch every single day. So now let's move to the second workflow over here. Over here, we start off with a webhook, right? This, every time your agent triggers a tool during a live call, the request is going to land here. Now let me walk you through the routing logic. This webhook node is the entry point for all three tools. When a tool fires from Vapi during that call, one of those three tools or four tools we created, the request arrives here. When a tool fires from Vapi during a call, the request arrives here carrying the function name, the arguments your agent is passing, like the homeowner's phone number, request appointment date, and a tool call ID that n8n actually uses to send back the right response. Okay. Now, super key, you want to toggle this to production, copy this key, and go back to Vapi and go to your tools. And under each of those three tools we just made, you want to paste that URL over here for server URL. All right. Our next node is a route by function. And what this node is doing is it's basically a switch node. It's going to read the incoming function name and then send that request down the right path. So the lookup client by phone goes to the top path, check availability goes to this path, which is the calendar path, and then book and confirm will go to the booking and confirmation path. All right. Now let's go one by one. So client lookup row, this is just going to query your sheet for the row matching the incoming phone number and then return the homeowner's name, phone, and property address. Then after this, we have the respond with client data. Super simple note. This just sends that information back to Vapi so your agent opens with a personalized greeting, right? Now let's move on to the check availability path, right? Get existing events is going to hit Google Calendar and then pull all the appointments already booked for the date that the homeowner requested. Now, next up, we have the merge node. The merge node just combines the calendar data with the original tool call information from that webhook. So both are available in the next step, right? And that next step is calculate available slots. This is quite a heavy code node. This just does the actual scheduling math. It generates 45-minute windows across your workday. Obviously, you can tailor that number based on how long your appointments are. It's going to load the busy periods from Google Calendar with 15-minute buffers on each side. And then it's going to strip out anything that overlaps with existing appointments. It's going to remove any time slots that have already passed. And then finally, it's going to format the remaining windows into clean, readable times like Tuesday, March 11th at 10 a.m. And that formatted list is what goes back to Vapi. Then to wrap up this flow, we have the send availability response. This just packages up those open slots and returns them back to your agent with the correct call ID. Now the agent's going to read back the options and the homeowner picks one. Then we move on to the booking path, right? This extract customer data node is another code node that goes back to the conversation history, pulls the client name, phone number, and address through what came in earlier during the lookup. This just ensures that our calendar event gets created with the full property information, not just a time slot. Okay. Then we have the create calendar event node. This just builds the actual appointment within Google Calendar. Appointment description, we have details like client contact, phone, and address. And as you can see, and you can obviously tailor this to your business, the summary is solar appointment followed by the client name. Now, your calendar is the single source of truth for your team. It should have all the necessary information. Then we have the SMS booking confirmation call. This is a nice cherry on top. Basically, this fires through Twilio and sends the homeowner a text with the confirmed date and time. And this text does real work for show rates because it makes the appointment feel real and concrete. Finally, to wrap up this final flow, we have the send booking response. This just sends a success signal back to Vapi so your agent can wrap up that call cleanly. You're going to need to connect your Google Calendar to your actual business's calendar. And it's very simple via authentication up here. You want to do the exact same thing for Google Sheets. Create a new sheet. I'll drop this sheet in the resources. You can just copy it, clone it. Perfect. So in order to test it out, I've got my calendar pulled up. Got that spreadsheet with call sent set to no. And then all we need to do to test this is click execute workflow. So the call came in. Hello?
Am I?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I am. Yeah, I would. Could we do the 10th? Yeah, can we actually do 2 p.m.? Correct. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, perfect. So look at this. Literally, solar appointment Aliraj has my address there, name, phone, and booked me in the right time, 30-minute time slot. In less than a minute, our AI went through the spreadsheet, gave me a call, persuaded me to save money with solar, and then booked me in on their calendar with all the information that the solar company needs. Pretty insane. So, solar companies are sitting on gold mines of cold leads from web forms, door knocking campaigns, and old ad runs that never converted. The problem isn't lead quality, but it's the follow volume. No human sales team is calling 500 old leads every week. It's just not feasible. But this system does. Your AI calls every uncalled lead every morning, opens with the homeowner's actual name from your database, qualifies them on ownership, bill size, roof situation, and obviously you can handle and add all of this to that prompt, which is how you would do all this, and only offers appointment times that actually exist on your calendar. It's going to send a text confirmation that shows up on their phone within seconds, the call ending, and then it's going to do all of it without a single person on your team touching it. Solar businesses pay well for this kind of automation because a single book site assessment can be worth thousands in commission on the back end. One extra installation per week from reactivated leads more than justifies the entire system. So that's your complete solar lead reactivation build, full n8n JSON files, a solar assistant prompt. All of it is inside my school community. I'm also running a free 5-day sprint in there focused on landing your first AI automation client in under a week. If you got any value from this, drop a like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments which industry you want me to build out next, and I'll catch you in the next one.